supplier on time. That stress is not there. But these businesses are not even thinking about growth because they're stuck in sustenance of the stability that they have. How many of you are belonging to that category? So you're in between survival and growth. महीने का खर्चा निकल रहा है, but you're stuck at the same level first, and you don't have the time and energy to think about growth because you're too busy holding fort for the sustenance. Yes? So that also, by the way, is a trap where you have stagnated at a certain point and neither you have the time, energy and focus to think about growth because you are holding fort for everything. That becomes a little more frustrating over a period of time. Okay. Now, let's go to the second characteristic of a survival business. Write down the second characteristic, everybody. Write down. Expertise in only product or service skills, poor in income skills and activities. Expertise in only product or service skills, poor in income skills and activities. Expertise in only product or service skills, poor in income skills and activities. Once you're done writing that, type it down in the chat box. Awesome. Thank you so much. Not done. Now, this is one thing you need to start getting aware to, which is the reason why businesses get stuck in the trap of survival. One of the biggest reasons why businesses get stuck in the trap of survival is because what happens more often than not in such businesses is that these businesses and these business owners have great knowledge and great skills producing a good quality product in delivery. So product and service, but income skills and activities are pathetic. Which means, in simple words, these business owners suck in market. So they produce a great quality product, deliver great quality, great standard of service, but because they're poor in income generating skills and activities like marketing and sales, these people are always stuck in the trap of survival because they are not pipeline of generating new business and new projects. They're not having the pipeline to get consistent flow of deals and revenue. Okay. How many of you are this human being where you are a fine artist? You are like Michelangelo and Picasso when it comes to creating your product or service. You deliver masterpieces, but you don't have anybody to buy the masterpiece. So that masterpiece, making you a masterpiece in your business. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, now this is a very dangerous trap, and I'll tell you why this is a dangerous trap. More often than not, I've seen business owners who are poor in marketing and sales. These business owners, their justification is marketing and sales is manipulation. It's sleazy. It's below my dignity. My work will speak for itself. My product is great. My service is great. People will come and buy from me. Oh, hello. Wake up. There is too much competition in the market. There is too much noise in the market. Get out of your superiority complex. घंटा कोई तुमको ढूंढ के नहीं आने वाला. Please see reality for what it is. This is not a motivational training. I'm not here to hold pom-poms and tell you होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. I'm here to tell you the truth. Please open your eyes and realize this one reality, that if you're poor in marketing and sales, and even if you have an amazing product or service, nobody knows about that product or service. And that's the biggest failure of your business, that people don't even know in your own industry that you exist. Agree, everybody? Because this intellectual superiority complex that some business owners carry, मेरा product अच्छा है, मेरी service अच्छी है, काम हमारे पास खुद आएगा, घंटा आएगा कुछ. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today we live in a world where your product or service has to be great. And beyond having a great product or service, you have to be great at marketing and selling it. If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. So for those of you who are experts in your industry, it's time to upgrade your skills and become experts in marketing and selling as well. Does that make sense? Awesome. Next. Next, under growth business, write this down. The reason why growth businesses are growth businesses is because they have a great balance of skill set. They are good at producing a great product or service, plus they have the expertise in income generating skills and activities, which means the quality of the product is great, the quality of the service is great, and their skills and effort in marketing and sales is also amazing. That's when they're able to build a business which is constantly growing. So once you're done writing that, type out done in the chat box. So the first characteristic was about where does the owner spend majority of their time thinking about or worrying about. If you're focused and worried only about making enough money to pay salary on time, rent on time, credit card bill on time, supplier on time, then survival business. If you only have great product or service skills but poor marketing and selling skills, survival business. So start noticing thinking and ability that you have currently, is it falling under the characteristic of a survival business or a growth business? Which brings me to the third point. The third point is an extension of the second point. So first write it down. Write down the third point under survival business. Survival businesses are reactive in marketing and sales. They are reactive in marketing and sales. And next to reactive in marketing and sales, put a hyphen and write dependent on word of mouth referrals and business only from existing customers. Please write that point. In marketing and sales, dependent on word of mouth referrals and business only from existing customers. Once you're done writing this point, type out done in the chat box. Dependent on word of mouth referrals and business only from existing customers. Awesome. Now, look, this is where I need permission from all of you. Can I be brutally honest with all of you in today's business success workshop? Do I have the permission to speak the truth and not really cover it up with sugar-coated language to please and satisfy your egos? Yes. So if I say something, it's intentional to wake you up from deep sleep. Because some of you are in deep sleep. You have a great product. You have great services that you offer. But you're in this deep sleep that growth will happen automatically. Growth will not happen automatically. You have to make decisions and you have to take action and you have to develop skills and you have to put effort for growth. Now, this is where one of the areas where a lot of business owners are in deep sleep is that they feel when a referral comes from word of mouth, that's enough for my business. My friend, word of mouth is a bonus. You cannot depend on word of mouth referrals to grow your business. That's why you need to be proactive in marketing and sales. You cannot be reactive in marketing and sales. Now, when I say word of mouth is a bonus, why do I call it a bonus? Let me ask you a question. Can you control the number of inquiries you receive every week or every month through word of mouth referrals? Can you control it? Yes or no? Type out for me in the chat box. Can you control the number of referrals or leads you receive through word of mouth referrals every week or every month? No, you can't. Can you predict the number of leads you will receive through word of mouth referrals every week or every month? Can you predict it? No, you can't. Now, when you can't control it, you can't predict the number of leads you are generating through word of mouth referrals. Is it healthy for you to depend on it for your business? Absolutely not. So please treat word of mouth referrals like a bonus. Don't treat word of mouth referrals like the only channel through which you will generate business. And far too many business owners, especially micro, small and medium enterprise business, depend only on word of mouth referrals. And because they depend on word of mouth referrals and they're not putting proactive effort in marketing and sales, when the leads are good, sales is good. When the leads drop, sales drops. So some months is Diwali, other months is Diwala. How many of you have experienced that trend in your own business? Some month the market is doing well, so demand is high. Other months there's a lull in the market, so there is no demand, so your cash flows are taking a hit. That's the reason why businesses get stuck in the loop of. I have seen business owners who make money in a few months of the year, and once they make money, they can't even take that money home. They have to keep that money in the business because they need that money in the business to sustain the expenses of the lull period. So what are you taking home? What are you taking home? 20,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 1.5 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees. In a metro city in India, what is 1.5 lakh rupees? It's nothing. It's basic survival. People in a job with your kind of experience, network, and your kind of work ethic earn way more than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this being a business owner, being a CEO, being a founder, but not having the results is actually living a lie. How many of you agree? Yes or no? Then this is a lie. Then it's only cool for LinkedIn to put your profile and say CEO, founder, entrepreneur. Your personal bank statement, if that is empty, then you're finding nothing in life. That's a meaningless exercise then. It's an ego boost then. कि सिर्फ ego है कि मैं entrepreneur हूँ. If you're reactive in marketing and sales, you're bad business. Now sometimes I have business owners with me and say, but Rajiv, if I get enough business from my existing customers, why should I do marketing? Why should I sell? Because I cannot take up more projects my existing customers. Now for those of you who justify not marketing and selling proactively because your hands are full with your existing customers, let me tell you one reality. Would you agree that if your business is depending on a handful of existing customers, once those existing customers start realizing that you're depending on them, they start abusing that relationship. They demand a lower price. They demand you to make lesser profits. They demand better credit cycle, longer payment cycles. And eventually what is happening? Your hands are full with existing customers. You're operating at a price point where you are operating on extremely low margins. You are compromising on payment terms where your payment is always stuck with the customer in the market. You're actually like an unofficial investor business. But if you're marketing and selling proactively and consistently, and you have a consistent leads, how many of you agree with that consistent pipeline of leads? You have confidence. When you have confidence, because you have demand for your limited capacity, you have higher demand, then you can premiumize your product or service. You can premiumize your price, and you can earn the money that you desire at the payment terms that you deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How many of you have a supplier or a vendor to whom you are paying a higher price, even though there are cheaper alternatives available who can give you the same product or service, but you're willing to pay a higher price because you know that person has enough projects and they will not operate at a lesser price? So you yourself pay a higher premium to some of your vendors and suppliers because you know they have high demand. And they will not operate at a lower cost. They will not operate at a longer credit cycle. So you yourself can do that for your business if you're marketing and selling proactively. Build the demand proactively, even if you have limited operational capacity, and premiumize your services and your products and your brand and demand payment on your terms, not on the market's terms. It's possible in every business if you're marketing and selling consistently and you have a pipeline of leads. If that is clear, type a clear in the chat box. Awesome. Which brings me to what do growth businesses do differently from survival businesses? Write this down. Write this. Growth business, 80% effort is marketing for value addition, 20% effort is selling for product or service promotion. Write this formula, writing type of done in the chat box, and explain what is 80% marketing for value addition and what is 20% selling for product or service promotion through some examples. I'll explain it through some examples. Make sure you write that under growth business. Effort in marketing for value addition, 20% in selling for product or service promotion. Once you're done writing that, done in the chat box, please. Okay. So let's demonstrate through a couple of examples what are growth businesses doing differently from survival businesses, and what do I mean by this 80% effort in marketing for value addition, 20% effort in selling for product or service promotion. I'll distinguish it through examples. So let me give you a hypothetical case. Let's just say your friend creates a WhatsApp group with 300 business owners and they add you on that WhatsApp group. And the day that WhatsApp group is created, the moment that WhatsApp group is created, one of the members on that WhatsApp group starts spamming the group with pictures of their products, photographs of their products. And you're getting notifications going dong, 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 dong. And you open your phone and you see WhatsApp and you're like, what is this new group? And suddenly you see somebody who sent some 8-10, click on those pictures and you see that somebody sent pictures of a copper bowl, copper plate, copper spoon, copper glass, copper jug, copper tray. Basically, that person has sent pictures of copper utensils. And then below that picture, they put a message saying, hello friends, my name is Mukesh. I am a wholesaler and a retail trader of copper utensils. We do both wholesale and retail. If you have any requirements of copper utensils, then please do contact me on this number. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Has this person, Mukesh, added any value to the group? Yes or no? Simple answer. No, this person's not added any value. Has this person, Mukesh, built any relationship with the group? No. Has this person, Mukesh, established credibility with the group? Yet. Now, without adding value, without building a relationship, without establishing credibility, when Mukesh is trying to sell his product, what will be the most common reaction when Mukesh starts selling his product? What do most people do on that? Type out for me in the chat box. What do most people start doing on that WhatsApp group the moment one person is spamming the group with pictures of their products or services? Okay, here's what I'm reading in the chat box. Block, exit, mute, leave the group, ignore, mute, ignore, leave, block, ignore, mute, view and ignore, leave the group, block, exit, feel like it's a nuisance, exit, block, leave the group, mute, delete. So most common answers is block, exit, leave, mute, ignore, whatever. Why? Because has Mukesh done any marketing? No. Mukesh is directly selling. Yes or no? Yes, I can see your messages. Mukesh is directly selling. So everybody, write in your notebook. I'm going to dictate a statement. Write it big and bold in your notebook. Write this statement. Only sales fails. 3 words. Write these 3 words. Only sales fails. Only sales fails. Once you're done writing, type out done in the chat box. Only sales fails. Now, I want you to take a moment and read this statement to yourself and internalize it, because many of you do what Mukesh has done. You directly start promoting a product or service to a potential customer without adding any value, without building any relationship, without establishing any credibility. Now, you may not be spamming WhatsApp groups. Some of you would have spammed WhatsApp groups in the past. Hey guys, just want to let you know, these are the products or services we offer. Kindly to contact us if you have any requirement. And you send like one graphic design poster with the list of your products or services to every WhatsApp group you're a part of. Meaningless. Nobody cares. Or some of you get a graphic design poster with all your products and services and you put it up on your Facebook and your Instagram and your LinkedIn and you expect people to buy. Meaningless. Or some of you make cold calls to customers saying, hello, we are a digital marketing services agency. Just want to check, do you have any requirement for digital marketing agency? You're directly selling. Meaningless. Or some of you send a brochure or a catalog or a company profile to B2B email IDs saying, dear Sora ma'am, greetings from our end. Writing to you from so-and-so company, from so-and-so organization. We do this business. Please find attached below a company profile. Looking forward to contacting you. If you have any requirement, kindly to give us an opportunity. Meaningless. Only sales fails. Is this making sense? Without adding value, without building a relationship, without establishing credibility, if you're only promoting your product or service, then people treat that as spam. If you've done this in the past, then type out guilty in the chat box. And it's okay to wash your sins today over here. Type out guilty chat box. Thank you for your honesty. Those of you typing guilty. Some of you are like, I've done nothing. I've just built the product or service and I'm waiting for the world to recognize me. Which is fine. That's also then write double guilt. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, only sales fails. Never push your product or service, or never even talk about your product or service till you've not added value, built a relationship, and established credibility. And that's where marketing comes into picture. Desperate people sell. Dignified people attract business. How many of you agree? Like you go for a networking event and you're like, credit card, credit card, credit card, credit card, credit card. कुछ नहीं निकलता. Unless you built a relationship, unless you established credibility, nothing comes out of it. How many of you have gone to networking platforms and collected credit cards and distributed credit cards and tried to talk to those people, and people don't even want to talk? They don't even want to engage then. Yeah. Your credit card did you distribute, visiting card, business card. Sorry, I've been saying credit card. Visiting card. Visiting card. भावनाओं को समझो तुम, भावनाओं को समझो. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are distributing visiting cards and collecting visiting cards, you're not getting business. Selling without markets. So that's why I've told you this formula that growth businesses do 80% effort in marketing for value addition before they put 20% effort in selling the product or service. Now, would you like for me to give you an example of 80% effort in for value addition? Would you like an example for that? I'll explain value addition through an example. So let's take the same example of Mukesh. Let's say a friend of yours creates a WhatsApp group, adds 300 business in that WhatsApp group, and you receive a message, like everybody on the group receives a message, and the message reads, my name is Mukesh, pleasure to connect with all of you on this WhatsApp group. Just to give you a quick introduction, I am very passionate about health, wellness and nutrition. And because of my passion for health, wellness and nutrition, I create short videos where I give simple tips for people to follow to improve their health, wellness and nutrition. So as my introduction to the group today, I'd like to share my first video with all of you on 3 tips to deal with a stomach bloating problem. Many people eat right and eat light, and even then their stomach bulges out and becomes tight in the evening hours. So watch this video and share it with your family and friends, because I've given you 3 simple tips to follow to deal with the stomach bloating problem. Has Mukesh sold anything? No, nothing. He's spoken about a problem that is very relatable, that is very common. Then he sent a video. Now some people watch that video. In the video, Mukesh goes, 3 tips to deal with stomach bloating. Tip number 1, every morning when you wake up, within 15 minutes of waking up, make sure you have 6 black raisins soaked with saffron strands overnight in the first 15 minutes, because that helps you cleanse your gut, improves your metabolism, helps you fight stomach bloating. Tip number 2, drink water in a copper glass throughout the day and store your water in a copper jug throughout the day. Copper enriches the nutrient value of water, helps you improve your metabolism, helps you fight stomach bloating. Tip number 3, in a copper bowl, every day after lunch, have curd. So make sure you set your curd in the copper bowl. The probiotic backed curd is good for your gut health, helps you fight stomach bloating. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a nutritionist, but I have a simple thing. When someone shares these simple tips to solve a common problem that is there in every household in the country, has that person educated and given good information and added value to people? Yes or no? Now, when this person consistently educates and adds value, has this person established credibility for themselves? See, you watch 1 or 2 videos of Mukesh, you like his content, you feel it's very practical, very simple to follow. Then when you think of Mukesh, you have respect in your mind, you have trust in your heart, you look up to him as someone who cares. So Mukesh has added value by educating people, establish credibility, build trust, build a relationship where tomorrow if Mukesh sends a personal message, that person would be willing to respond to that message, yes or no, because that person will be like, wow, Mukesh is messaging me, yes or no. How many of you noticed in this example that I gave you, Mukesh gave solutions to a common problem like stomach bloating and at the same time also positioned the benefit of copper utensil, yes or no? Now this is a skill. This skill is called marketing, where you are adding value to your target, positioning the benefits of what you do. This is a skill. Most people don't have the skill. So the only thing they know is directly start reading out their company profile or catalog or brochure or their website information to a customer and start selling. How many of you agree this skill is important to be developed in today's day and age? Yes or no? We are in 2026. In 2026, you can't use methods that you used in 2006 or in 1996 to run a business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine Mukesh sends educational videos every week for 6, 7, 8 weeks. And in every video, one day he's talking about how to fight stomach bloating, one day he's talking about how to deal with dehydration, and in that he says, have water-based fruits and vegetables like cucumber and watermelon to increase indirect intake of water. Second, drink water in a copper glass, store your water in a copper jug. It enriches the nutrient value of water, helps you fight dehydration. Make sure you drink sugar and salt solution every day to retain electrolytes in your body to fight dehydration. Now, if Mukesh is adding value every week, educate, positioning benefits of copper utensils for 6, 7, 8 weeks, let's just say in the 9th week, Mukesh comes back and this time sends a message to the WhatsApp group and says, hello friends, today I'm not going to share a video. Today, firstly, I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who have watched my videos for the last 8 weeks, who have commented on my videos or shared it with your family and friends. Your support means a lot to me. And today, I want to do a quick personal, professional introduction of myself. Apart from being passionate about health, wellness, and content, I am also professionally in the business of doing copper utensils trading. We do wholesale and retail sales of copper utensils. Now, through my videos, you've all understood the benefits of using copper utensils in everyday life. So if you would like to upgrade your lifestyle to a more healthier lifestyle and you'd like to have copper utensils in the kitchen of your home or the pantry of your office, just drop me a message on this number personally and I will reach out to you, help you understand what kind of utensils are essentials and help you procure and supply those utensils to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if Mukesh does this in the 9th week, this is a sales promotion activity, yes or no? Now, question to all of you, because he's added value for 8 weeks, will more people take this sales message seriously now in comparison to the first example where on day 1 he spams pictures of the product? Will more people take it seriously or lesser? Type out for me in the chat box, more or less? More people will. Am I saying everybody will buy? No. No, there is no business on the planet where everybody buys. But more people take Mukesh's message seriously this time. They want to connect with him. They want to know more about copper utensils. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an example of 80% effort in marketing for value addition and 20% effort in selling for product or service promotion. Is this making sense? Now, when Mukesh sells in the 9th week or the 10th week, will there be 15 to 20% negative, cynical people on that WhatsApp group? Will there be negative people who will be like, oh, so you were sending all these videos because you wanted to sell this copper utensils to us? Will there be 15 to 20% negative, cynical people? Yes, there will be. Can you type out for me in the chat box? What should be your approach as when you encounter negative, cynical people when you are doing marketing and sales? What should be your approach as a business? Ignore them. Ignore. Please accept this reality. You cannot satisfy everyone. You cannot make everybody happy. If you have 80% effort in marketing through value addition and 20% effort in selling through product or service promotion, you are using a powerful, effect and ethical method of growing your business. And if there are 15-20% negative people, then ignore, because these are dukhi atmas. These are unsatisfied souls. इनको लाइफ में सब कुछ फुकट में चाहिए. These are fukatiyas. So ignore them. Is that clear? The reason I'm highlighting this point is because many of you have great knowledge in your industry, you have great experience in your industry, you have great wisdom in your industry, but you stop yourself from putting out content either through videos or through images or through text-based posts. You stop yourself because you're worried, what will people think? You can't satisfy everyone. If they feel unhappy about it, if they sulk about it, their problem. Unki tatti unko karne do. It's not your problem. 80% effort in marketing, where you've added value, and then 20% effort in selling, where you've promoted your product or service, is powerful because it helps you grab the attention of your target customer. It's effective because it helps you establish credibility in the mind of the target customer. It is ethical because you're showcasing your expertise for free and you're helping them make an informed decision to decide whether you're the right person to associate with or not. Yes or no? And that's what growth businesses do. Now you, based on your business, whether you're a B2B business or B2C business, you have to decide what is the right platform. If you're a B2B business, you need to be active on LinkedIn, you need to be active on YouTube, you need to be active on emails, where you're adding value. Adding value equals educating or entertaining. B2B, you should educate. This is making sense. Today, people are selling second-hand cars on Instagram, saying, आओ भाइयों दिखाता हूँ सेकेंड हैंड गाड़ी खरीदने जा रहे हो तो क्या ये इवैल्यूएट कर पाए कि इसकी पहले एक्सीडेंट हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है. Now some of you watch that kind of content and you feel intellectually superior, thinking, I can't, this is below my dignity. Oh, cringe. That guy who you call cringe is making more money than you. You are broke. Now you need to decide whether you want to be a broke intellectual person or a rich person with great reach. I'm sorry, I am not here to satisfy your egos. I'm here to crush your egos so you grow. Please understand, the world has changed. Today, tourism economies of countries are built on creating content. You and I are a small business owner. We cannot carry the arrogance that my product will speak for itself, my service will speak for itself. That is arrogance, that is ignorance, that is incapability. Please develop this capability. Create content where you're educating people or entertaining people. If you're a fashion designer, you can entertain people. You run a cafe, entertain people. Have some coffee drinking competition, some burger eating competition. If you run a bakery, have some cake eating competition and record it and post it online. That's how you gain reach. So educate and add value by giving solutions to people to the problems they face, or entertain them. Based on the tone of the product or service you're selling, you decide what should be the tone of your marketing. This is making sense. Educate or entertain. That value addition. That's what people are willing to engage with. This is making sense. Now it can be through videos, it can be through text, it can be through infographics, any medium. On the right. If you're B2C, please be active on Instagram. If you're international outside of India, please be active on TikTok. Okay? Please on YouTube, whether you're B2C or B2B, please build an educational email marketing system. These are things that are essentials in today's day and age. For B2B, it's YouTube, LinkedIn, email. For B2C, it is Instagram, YouTube, email. Every business needs this. This is making sense, everyone. This is what growth businesses do. Growth businesses step out of their arrogance that my product is great. They understand that my marketing has to be great, my sales has to be great, my product has to be great. All three have to be great. Only then I deserve to grow. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, chartered accountant, or architect, or interior designer. Your profession doesn't prohibit you from educating people to your profession as doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants, and architects. Your profession bars you from soliciting business. Soliciting business is different from educating people and building your brand. I have so many of my clients who are doctors, who are lawyers, who are chartered accountants, who have built YouTube channels, and they're educating to, and because they're educating through YouTube, they have 100,000 subscribers, 150,000 subscribers, and the amount of patients they get in their clinic or amount of clients they get CA from is crazy. So nobody will stop you from educating. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a short, brief masterclass on marketing. This is not a marketing and sales program. This is a management program. And today we'll go a lot more deeper in management. Okay, but was this short masterclass on marketing and sales and understanding that marketing is about value addition and sales is about product or service promotion a useful insight for all of you? Yes? Awesome. Which brings me to the last point of differentiating between a survival business and growth business. Please write this down. Survival business, write down owner-driven business. Survival business, write owner-driven business. Okay, once you're done writing that, type out done in the chat box. Now, I am going to utilize the permission you gave me to speak the truth right now because this is the moment. Some of you have your fundamentals itself gone wrong. Your fundamentals itself are messed up in your head. Some of you who think you doing everything by yourself is a sign of commitment. No, you doing everything by yourself is a sign of stupidity. No matter how hardworking, talented, and committed you are, please open your eyes and realize today, one person cannot do everything in the business. You by yourself cannot do marketing, sales, operations, accounts, human resources, and management consistently. So stop living in this fantasy that you will be a superhero and you'll wear a red underwear on top of your pants and become Superman. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not a business, that's called freelancing. Freelancing is good at the starting stages of your career where you need to get your hands dirty. But when it becomes a habit, it's a trap. And it's more a psychological habit where a business owner becomes a control freak and they feel nobody can do the work like I can do it. I'll only do everything. Why to hire? Why to spend money? Why to waste money? Why to increase expenses? I'll only do everything. If the fact that you think that way tells me you're not designed to build a successful business at all, you're building a trap for yourself. And you don't even realize it's a trap. You feel proud of the trap. I work 18 hours a day. I work 16 hours a day. I don't even take holiday on a Sunday. That is not an achievement. That is stupidity. Somebody had to say that to you on your face. If everything in your life carries only fear, what if I hire a person and that person doesn't perform? Expense will increase, salary is waste. No. What if I hire a person and I delegate work and they don't do a good job? My reputation will get spoiled. What if I hire a person and the person then leaves? Then my time, effort and energy is waste. No. Let me only do how much I can do. That's not called a business owner. Sorry, but that's not who a business owner is. That's a glorified freelancer who's given himself or herself a job, but for the sake of social approval calls himself or herself an entrepreneur. Owner-driven businesses are a trap. Now some of you may say, but in my industry, customer wants to talk only to me. I'm sorry, that's also a lie that you've told yourself again and again. In every industry, there are players where the business owner is not sitting and servicing every client. There are doctors who build hospitals where the principal doctor is not sitting and catering to every single patient. There are lawyers who build law firms where the principal lawyer is not sitting and writing the petition of every case and going for every hearing and meeting every client for discussion. There are chartered accountants who build chartered accountancy firms where the principal accountant who started that firm is not sitting and doing bookkeeping and tax planning for every single client and answering calls of every single client. There are manufacturers who are not sitting on the shop floor area and sitting and monitoring manufacturing process and doing QC themselves. There are retailers who build multi-retail stores where they are not sitting on the cash box of every retail store and managing every retail store by themselves. There are distributors who are distributing multiple brands and are building businesses in hundreds of crores where they are not sitting and answering the call of every dealer or every retailer and determining the price and determining and coordinating the logistics. In every business, there are people who build scalable, profitable businesses. So don't tell me in your industry everything is dependent on you. You've given yourself that importance. You are a control freak. You're not willing to let go of that control, and therefore you lie to yourself saying, "Mere bina kuch nahi ho sakta," and therefore you are stuck in this trap for yourself. Does that make sense? And for those of you who are in this fear, but Rajiv, when I delegate work, the team doesn't do the work perfectly. Yes, my friend, the team will not do work perfectly. It takes time to build a team, but doesn't mean that they don't do the work perfectly and you take back work from them and say, "I'll only do it, I can't trust you." It's called building a team. It's not called buying a team. Some of you want immediate result. आज hire किया, कल उससे काम दिया, परसों से उसका result निकला. नहीं होता मेरे भाई. Those failures, those mistakes of your team members, those unhappy customers, those time delays of delivery, when your team is doing the work, all of that is your investment in building a team. Most people can't handle that. No, Rajiv, my reputation will get lost. You don't have a reputation. Do you know that? 10, 20 people knowing you is not called having a reputation. I'm talking about building a scalable, profitable business. Please get where I'm coming from. How many of you realize this mindset is a big problem for many people? Skill is great. Willingness to work hard is there. Mindset is small. So fear is big. When fear is big and mindset is small, then what you build is a trap. It starts from here. Yes or no? Growth businesses are a bit different. Growth businesses are function-driven businesses. Write that down. Function-driven businesses. Once you're done writing that, type out done in the chat box. Once you're done writing that, please type out done in the chat box. So let me explain this to all of you. Function-driven business means in this business, owner is not the superhero. Every function is the superhero. Marketing as a function is functioning consistently. Sales as a function is functioning consistently. Operations as a function is functioning consistently. Accounts as a function is functioning consistently. Human resources as a function is functioning consistently. Management as a function is functioning consistently. How many of you agree when all these functions are functioning consistently and simultaneously, that's when you've built a growth engine? Yes or no? Now, I know the question is, how do I make sure all this functions consistently? How do I make sure I hire if I don't have money? I will answer all those questions for you today. I will give you practical, actionable answers to all those questions. But before even we go there, I need you to open your mind. I need you to open your mind and realize that doing everything by yourself is a trap. Are you open to that reality? Because if you're open, then we can help you get out of the trap. But if you're going to hold on to that trap and justify it, saying, "No, Rajiv, I will only do everything, I like it, my path," then I can't help. I can't help. Nobody can help. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to learn today how to build a growth business? Would you like to learn today how to build a function-driven business? If yes, type out yes in the chat box. And are you willing to make some changes and make some decisions to play the game of growth? Because is it going to be easy? No. I am not here to sell you some get-rich-quick scheme. There is no get-rich-quick method on the planet. It requires character. It requires courage. It requires you to step up. Are you willing to count on yourself? Because for some people, this is just a, अरे यार इसका ad बार देखा है. I thought let's try the program. You are not here to evaluate me. I don't need your evaluation. This is not my arrogance. This is my experience. You are here for yourself. So don't treat this like a 99 rupee webinar because you paid 99 for it. This is a very real conversation which you need to have about your business with yourself. I'm just a facilitator. I'm not the hero here. I'm just a facilitator. So, do I have the permission today to challenge you to move in a direction that will genuinely help you achieve what you have aspired and dreamt of achieving? Awesome. Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have broken down for you the basic characteristics differentiating a survival business from a growth business. How many of you could see your characteristics explained over here on this slide? If you could type out me in the chat box. Vinamra says, felt like you're talking about me. Well, Vinamra, the moment you signed up for this workshop, we had a CCTV camera installed in your office. Okay. Now, for some of you, you would see yourself demonstrate growth characteristics, which is fantastic. Be proud of what you're doing then. For some of you, you would see yourself demonstrating survival characteristics. It's okay. Don't go into guilt and fear. It's time to now step up. For some of you, you would see yourself 50-50. Some survival characteristics, some growth characteristics. Some survival, some growth. It's time to become more consistent in demonstrating growth characteristics. Yes? So, with this being the foundation of the Business Success Workshop, can we actually start the Business Success Workshop now? I've actually not taught you anything. I've just laid a foundation. Can we start the real curriculum now? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, in growth business, the final point that I made you write was that growth businesses are function-driven businesses. Yes? So, let us understand what are these functions, and while we understand what these functions are you willing to do a functional assessment of your business, everybody? Awesome. So, take a fresh page in your notebook. Take a fresh page in your notebook and write this heading: 7 functions to build a stable and successful growth business. 7 functions to build a stable and successful growth business. Take a fresh page and write this heading. Once you're done writing this heading, type it done in the chat box. And guys, reminder, for those of you joining late, please have a notebook and a pen and make notes. Don't watch this like a Netflix show, because this is not a Netflix show. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for those of you giving me a confirmation. So I want you to get this. Consider that your business is like a wheel. Okay. Consider that your business is like a wheel, and that wheel has 7 spokes. All of you have seen a cycle wheel with spokes. If you've seen a cycle wheel with spokes, type out yes. Now imagine that your business is like a cycle wheel which has 7 spokes. Now in that cycle wheel, if 2 or 3 spokes are broken and they're hanging, if 2 or 3 spokes are broken and they're hanging, and you start pedaling the cycle, those broken spokes start breaking the other spokes. Yes or no? They start interrupting with the other spokes. They start beating the other spokes. And when you cycle harder and faster, the broken spokes aggressively beat the other spokes. And when they beat the other spokes, too many spokes break. When too many spokes break, the wheel collapses, the cycle loses balance, and the cycle collapses. Yes or no? So, the reason I'm giving you this visual analogy of a cycle wheel with 7 spokes is because when I introduce these 7 functions that are critical for the growth of any business, I want you to evaluate in your business, each of these functions, are they consistent or are they broken? So if the activity is inconsistent, then that's a broken spoke in your business. If the activity is consistent, then that's a stable spoke in your business. Got it, everybody? So that's how I want you to evaluate. So for every activity, I want you to write whether it is consistent or it is broken in your notebook as I put out the 7 functions. Yes, ready? Awesome. So we'll evaluate the impact of the broken functions at the end of this slide together. Okay. So write down under the 7 functions to build a stable and successful group business. Write down the first function as marketing, and next to marketing put a hyphen and write lead generation. Next to marketing put a hyphen and write lead generation. Next to marketing put a hyphen and write lead generation. Once you're done writing this, type out done in the chat box. Awesome. Thank you. Now, how many of you agree every business needs marketing, at least based on what we just spoke in the previous slide? Every business needs to do marketing proactively and consistently to build a pipeline of leads and inquiries for their business. Yes or no? That's the start point. Marketing is the Gangotri of your Ganga. This is the start point. If there's a blockage in Gangotri, Ganga will not flow. Okay. So we need to make sure that marketing is happening consistently in your business. Now, if marketing is happening consistently in your business, then next to marketing and lead generation, write consistent. If it is not consistent, then write inconsistent. Because some of you, what happens is you only think of marketing when you don't have any projects in the pipeline. That's when you wake up and think, marketing. So that's inconsistent. Okay. So if it's consistent, write consistent. If it's inconsistent, write inconsistent for your evaluation. This is for your evaluation. So that's the first function. Second function, everybody writes sales. Next to sales, write the goal of sales is revenue generation. The goal of sales is revenue generation. So marketing's job is to bring the lead. Sales job is to convert the lead into a deal and generate revenue. Now, how many of you see sales is actually dependent on marketing? Which means if marketing is not bringing leads and inquiries, sales has nobody to sell to. Sales has nobody to sell to. And in some of your cases, you're making a classic mistake where you have one team member and you're expecting one team member to do both. But today you need to realize that the skills required for marketing and the skills required for sales are different. The activities to be done in marketing and the activities to be done in sales are different. So if you are expecting one person to do both, that's a classic trap. That's a mistake. That's why you're probably not seeing consistent results. Okay? So marketing's job is to generate the lead. Sales job is to convert the lead and generate revenue for the business. Now evaluate. Is sales activity happening consistently in your business or not? If sales activities are consistent, where you're constantly pitching your products or services as a business or as a company to your potential customers, then write consistent. If sales activity is also inconsistent, write inconsistent. Like I know business owners, they go for a sales meeting only when they get an inquiry through word of mouth referral. So it happens once in a blue moon. When they go for that sales meeting, customer is very impressed. But the business owner at the end of the meeting is feeling guilty, saying, we should do this more often. If I do this more often, no, we can really grow. Somehow I'm not able to do it more often. That's because you are trying to do everything yourself. Okay. So first foundational activity to build a stable business is marketing. Job of marketing is to generate leads. Second foundational activity is sales. Job of sales is to generate revenue. Right on the third foundational activity, everybody, the third function is operations. And next to operations, write these 2 words, value and happiness. Next to operations, write these 2 words, value and happiness. Once you're done writing value and happiness, type out done in the chat box. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, let me explain operations to all of you. Please pay attention to this. It's a crucial explanation. Different businesses have different activities and different departments that come under operations. So operations is like a macro umbrella. Under this, there may be different departments. You may have a purchase or a procurement department. You may have a production department. You may have a quality check department. You may have a maintenance department. You may have a housekeeping department. Your IT department.